What's up, in this Louis Say with Your Legs Media, and we are here to bring you all the weeks or the weekend, and I guess some results after the week as well too of last week. A lot of races last week. It seemed like it was like first it was 3 races a day, and then it was 4 races a day, and then ended on Sunday with 5 races a day. So it was a pretty busy weekend, and we're gonna get into this, and we're starting off with my man Biniam Gourmet. We're gonna start off with the I was corrected. It was the red Koln. I believe it was the red on Koln, and it's a race in Germany. And basically, I was able to catch that on YouTube, and they broadcast it live in YouTube, but there was no English in there. But luckily, we know all of the riders. So let's get it in. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and let's get into this. In this Be Safe with Your Legs Media. Thanks for tuning in. Because this is one time I saw where Intermarché were putting everything behind. I, I also, as well as that stage in last year's the second stage that Benny won, that uphill stage where I out sprinted Jasper. And that's the power and speed they lack. That's the power and strength that Benny's lacking, which is why I think he lost this race on this day to Matthew Brennan. Up and coming talent, but I think Benny's up to the task, and on a good day, Benny could definitely take care of Matthew Brennan. But here you see Benny being paced back to the group, I guess after a nature break or more than likely a nature break, because it doesn't look like an emergency. Usually the emergency, they are trying to, if a flat, they're trying to get back pretty hurriedly and stuff. But anyway, this is inside of the final kilometer. And Intermarché, they pretty much got it spot on. And then Matthew Brennan would be the recipient of such a fantastic gift from Intermarché, because they get Benny to the front. This is the last corner coming into the probably like the last couple hundred meters. Benny's going to go, not his Benny's not going yet, but his lead up man's going to go. Benny's going to wait. He's going to go behind the Albertson rider, and then Matthew Brennan's going to come from the other side. And I feel that Benny just, I don't think Benny would have won in this situation because of the length of the sprint. It was sort of short, and it was a little bit shorter than he would like. So I didn't even really think he got a chance to get up to speed. And as he got started, the sprint was finished. But then there's a sign that his speed started to wane as he got up to top speed. I don't know if there was a headwind or not. And usually the person, if there is a headwind, the person coming from behind is always going to be that much faster. So if there was a headwind, that means Benny should have waited just a little bit longer to start his sprint. But he didn't really follow his guy. So this is the one time Intermarché did their thing, but he didn't follow his guy. Had he followed his guy off, he would have been in that slipstream a little longer, and he would have came off with a little bit more speed. So, but I think the thing is, Benny's so used to doing things by himself that when he had the asset of his team to do what they needed to do, he just didn't follow him. So, like if you watch Jasper, when Jasper does his thing, he follows Van der Poel until Van der Poel says, "I'm done." And like Benny's got to put that trust, because he has to gain it. Because if you watch some races, they take care of him, and some races he has to do it himself. So you can't imagine Benny must be frustrated at some of the time that he has to go on his own. But this is one time where Intermarché, the team, got it right. But there were a few more mistakes. It's just fine tuning. The Tour de France is not here yet, and if they're fine tuning now, hopefully when the tour comes, we can take care of the business, get a few stages, and defend that green jersey. Benny, we got you, Benny. We know you can do this. So win or lose, I'm going to be a Benny fan. But at the same time, I'm a fan of cycling and everything and everybody. And well done to Matthew Brennan, because that was so smart, just to sit in the wings and wait and just get gifted a win like that. Well done. And Visma Lisa bike, they got the double win. So we're going to talk about the other win now that they got. So we're going to get into stage 9 of the Giro d'Italia. You can see what it was like. They did 3 or 4 sectors from Strada Bianca, and it was like, you can see how dust was. It was just like pandemonium, and everyone was liking it. There was a big crash, like for the front guys, that separated everything, and that caused the break that you have, or the moment that you have right now with Wout van Aert and Isaac Del Toro, the 21-year-old, a new upstart from Mexico. Just a brilliant, talented young man. When he won that stage and he just blew everybody away in the Tour Down Under 2 years ago. When I saw him do that, I was like, this kid is special. So today, he basically just rode everybody off of his wheel except for Wout van Aert. And Wout had the luxury of saying, I can't ride with you as much as I would like, because I got my man, fighting for GC. Not Adam Yates, one of the Yates brothers. And so if Walt had to work, Isaac Del Toro would have dropped him a long time ago. And basically, on this last climb up into Siena, Walt is Isaac Del Toro is putting in everything. And I think for Isaac Del Toro, he wanted more so to win the stage. He wasn't really concerned with the GC because he knows he's there to ride for Ioso. And we're going to talk about that and in a minute after this. But coming up, you can see Isaac Del Toro. I mean, he's putting in everything to try to get away from Walt. But Walt dug deep. It's like, no, dude, I've been second and third and fourth all season. And Walt said in an interview, he knew that he had to get in front of Del Toro before these sharp turns came up. So he used everything to get in front of these sharp turns at once. And because of the way the corners are situated, you see that smooth, like sort of marbly, like stone or paving that they have down. It's not like when you're in the corners, there's not much maneuverability or there's not much room for what's the word I'm looking for getting it wrong. And you can see Walt just clips that little red thing, and basically right here you see there's no room to go. And once you get around that corner, that's going to be it. And Walt went out, finally wins a race all season. He'd been working so hard to get a win, and he finally gets a win. And that was just super amazing. So you see Richard Carapaz, he's coming up, and Ciccone, the Italian Ciccone, he's like a big like hometown favorite, and he comes up. And the crazy thing was, if you watch Ciccone, like these, once you get in front, you should be able to, like in a Formula One race, you should be able to take the corners wide enough to like just cancel anybody else out trying to pass you. But Ciccone just stayed right on that wheel, and it was locking. It's like, I'm getting those bonus seconds. So there's one more sharp corner coming up, and Ciccone is just going to be on it. He's got Carapax sized up. Carapax is just towing him right now, and Ciccone's like, okay, this is a lot. And this is a really risky move that Ciccone made, and he's lucky he didn't get those barriers. He went in there really hot. Had it been any type of moisture on that road, it would have been all over. And Ciccone, that was an amazing pass, even to get that pass. And then you're going to see the rest of the guys come in. You're going to see like Pidcock and Roglic and all the guys come in with time down, losing time. Roglic, one of the bigger losers of the day. Pidcock, a bigger loser of the day. Egan Bernal coming in. And actually, Egan Bernal, he actually had the KOM coming up that climb to Siena, that last climb. So if you go back and check it out, he's got the KOM. And if I can, I'll post it. But let's get into, now we have a situation like we had at the Volta last year, where it wasn't that last year, it was the year before last, where Sepp Kuss earned the red, but then all the other guys were trying to ride Sepp Kuss into the ground and take the red jersey off of him instead of supporting him. You know, at the end of the day, the jersey was going to stay within a Jumbo-Visma at the time, but they were still riding hard against one another to try to take the jersey from Sepp Kuss, which was really weird. You know, so you had Vingegaard and Roglic like literally dropping the boy on the climb, and there was no one else in contention. They just ride with him. They weren't going to lose the jersey. Hey, there you go. And that's really weird. So I think we're going to have a situation similar to that with UAE, or maybe UAE are bigger than that. It would be nice to see, because I think Isaac Del Toro has the strength to finish and carry the jersey. And I think if they supported him, I think he'll take care of business. Well, let's go. We'll see what happens. The time trial's tomorrow. And then, from there we go. We'll see what happens, how much time he loses, how much time Roglic gains, and how the GC changes up tomorrow. Because I think Del Toro's got a nice lead. But then if you count the bonus, like sort of exhibition race before the 4 days of Dunkerque, which is also named Dunkerque, it's 6 days. But it's 4 days of Dunkerque. They do 5 stages. And this is stage 4. And we had if it's a stage 4, it's a stage 5. But anyway, the winner would be Jake Stewart from Israel Premier Attack. And after a long day, Israel Premier Attack pretty much got it spot on. And this is right here where we all thought that they let him go too early. They let the man go too early off the front, but it wasn't too early. The timing was perfect. He just got it spot on. He hits the front. There was no one else that he can come close. You had the Tudor rider trying to come through, and then the group of farmer on the left. But Jake Stewart would just take the win. So now we get into the Itzulia. Itzulia stage race. There were 3 stages. The first 2 stages were won by Misha Butterwold. She did an amazing job to win both of those stages. Now you can see me now. She did an amazing job winning both of those stages in a sprint. But the last stage came down to Demi Vollering dropping everybody on the main climb. I don't have a lot of footage of this because they joined the race late. It was on the climb, but she did her business. She basically just rode everybody off her wheel. It was a bit of tempo riding combined with attacks, and like the attacks really didn't work. So once then she just kept the tempo and just literally just wore the girls down till she got that gap. She won by over a minute, and then by winning a minute, she overtook Misha Bredwald and took the the leader's jersey and winning the overall and taking the win from SD Works, who had won this race for the last 3 years in a row. And then onto our next race. This race is the Tour of Hungary. This is the Tour of Hungary. And after the two sprint tries, because there was also a hill stage in the Tour of Hungary, where obviously Dylan Groenewegen is not going to feature. But in the Tour of Hungary, you had the Jaco Lula. You see the purple on the front, so that's, once you see the purple on front, that's the Dylan Groenewegen train. And then you also have the UAE guys trying to set it up for Milano. But Milano would put himself, not take himself out, but he sort of tactically got it wrong, and he ended up too close to the barrier, boxed in amongst riders. And the really dominant sprinters, that normally doesn't happen today. So you see Milano is on the inside, and so the group is starting to washboard sort of like mix, and he's just going to stay on the inside, and it's got mixed in. So, but once Dylan Groenewegen goes, it was basically he likes the long type of sprint, and once he goes and he hits the front, that's it. So after 4 tries, Dylan Groenewegen finally gets that stage win, which was fantastic. But this also was an exciting win. This was the young man Perrier. I'm not going to mess up his last name, but Perrier, he won stage 3, and I had to go back to this stage because here you have Alberto Bettiol. It was on a bit of a hilly section towards the end, and like it's 2K from the finish. And I think he was thinking that if he could, get the march on everybody, he would be able to get away. But it didn't happen. So they all gathered back together. And when they gathered back together, Perrier, go through that. He went to the front and he just put in a massive attack. And then with 1 kilometer to go, it was like all or nothing. And this type of effort, like it's a particular event on the track called the Kilo. So with 1 kilometer to go, this is probably the hardest event in cycling there is. And it's like you have to give all or everything. And this is what he did. So he went a little longer than a kilometer. And as you're going to see, they're going to come really close. This was his first pro win. People are cheering him on. And it was just like he was so over the moon. It's so crazy. When I tagged him in the Instagram post, he actually responded to me to say thank you for posting it, and because it was his first pro win, and I just so happy for him, getting goosebumps now just talking about it. I mean, it's a massive effort, and just big congratulations to the young man and all the success in the future. And then we're going to finish with my man Milano. Milano had been trying all weekend. Sebastian Sen, Sebastian Milano, with his team Firstly, let's give heads off to his teammate on the front, just over this cobble climb, just marching. And then Danny Van Poppel was basically the only person that could have beat Milano in the sprint. And his teammate, Milano's teammate, kept checking back from making sure he's there. And they're going to come into one corner. Once they come into this last corner, it's only like 100 meters to go. So they're gonna have one more left corner. I believe it was 2 laps, and this is the last lap. As you can see, the leader guy is gonna pull off from the thing because he's done, and it's like Milano is up to you. So Danny Van Poppel goes, and Milano just realizes right away he has to go because it isn't a long enough sprint. He goes to the front, and Milano gets that win that after 5 stages that he had been trying, and that was so sweet to see. And I hope you enjoyed that. This has been Initially We Say with Your Legs Media. And this weekend has just been a lot. This is just a wrap up of the weekend and everything that happened. And so it's a rest day today, and then we're gonna carry on with the Giro d'Italia. And then I'm pretty sure there are going to be quite a few more races coming up later this week. I try to bring you as much as I can, how I can, and where I can. Just please tune in. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and if you appreciate what I just brought you, I'll continue to try and bring you everything I can. Alrighty? Initially, Say with Your Legs Media. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you on the next one.